Back at it again, or somewhat. Hey everyone, CW Music Reviews here. I'm CWD, and this is going to be the new emerging segment for the channel as I'm trying to find a way to bring myself back to doing this sort of thing. As you can see, I've kind of adjusted the camera weirdly in a different angle as I'm trying to kind of readjust to bring the channel back to a certain extent. I'm not going to be doing full-length reviews for a while, at least in terms of videos. I'll definitely try to get written reviews out. But with these segments, I'm going to do this monthly album roundup type sort of thing, where I essentially go through and kind of discuss briefly all the albums that I have listened to. And I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on these albums. Which ones were my favorites and which ones I thought were just cool or I just was disappointed in or did not like or something of that nature. So on that note, let's get this on the road. Yeah, I don't get the hype by this thing. I mean, there's some catchy songs here and there, but some of them are just a little too long for their own good. Especially if it's just going to be this one standard indie rock project with a vocalist that isn't as compelling as a lot of people would think. This thing has crescendos that go hard as hell, but everything else is just, standard, solid ambient music. Someone that lives an hour away from Chattanooga and has viewed TDE as one of the single most important labels in hip-hop music, I saw no reason not to love this thing. Until I got to Most Every Moment After track 5. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking when he decided to make a less ambitious version of Rodeo, but hey, there you go. Experimental hip-hop in space! This is pretty much a dud in her entire discography of 5 albums, and it didn't need to be this way. What is it with labels and international politics that want to bring women down anyway? I don't get it. This thing is so depressing that it feels like sheer, raw anguish is shitting in your soul. But I'm an emotional masochist like that, so I dig it. This thing pretty much sounds a little more expensive than Star Wars. Just maybe $5 more, not like way expensive. I mean, we're having to pay for this one this time around after all. I couldn't finish this thing, quite honestly. It just was boring. I think they sound a lot more interesting and energetic live, and that's not saying much given that I just thought their set was just decent at Shaky Knees. You'd think that the experiences Mac Miller has had with women over the course of the years being wrapped over this neo-soul and psych-pop instrumentation would, in theory, be a bad thing, but in actuality, it ends up being the exact opposite. I think they need to make changing their band name a common thing for them, for album after album after album, because it definitely sounds like they transform themselves in chameleon-like fashion with each project they put out, but simultaneously still sounding like them. It's okay. Isn't Brain Feeder supposed to come out with great records? Like with Nick Cave, this is definitely a very emotional record, but I think more of the emotion lies within the vocals than it does the instrumentation. I wanted the instrumentation to absolutely put me into a whirlwind of despair, but I just got solid indie rock and emo instrumentation, which is okay. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, then go nuts. It's 29 minutes long and every song sounds the same. It's got that going for it. This thing took me by surprise. It was actually pretty decent, even if the vocals here and there just really got on my nerves. It's like a nice indie rock, indie folk pairing that has no identity, yet simultaneously still coming up with relatively solid instrumentals. The beats are cool and all, but I feel completely alienated by how delusional he sounds with all this, oh, they don't know about the healing component, only I understand the healing component. It's a solid set of 5 tracks, and they're pretty long, and they're Neurosis. It's Neurosis doing their thing, and it's really crushing instrumentally. Give it a try, you'll dig it. You'd think if you've been gone for about 5 years, you'd put effort into your work beyond making subpar recorded indie-tronica with some folk undertones and it just be only 34 minutes long. It's like Justin Vernon wanted to make his own version of Jesus or something. If you're looking for the best hip-hop album of the year, you might find it here. The moment I heard them doing like heavier versions of what would sound like firefighting tracks and one track that completely ripped themselves off, it told me that this band is either needing of Kim Deal to come back or done. The moment I heard this guy fuse breakbeat and vocal melodies that sound like a Jerry Lee Lewis song was the moment I came to the realization that Nicholas Jar is not human at all. So yeah, that's what I thought of the albums I came across this past September. What did you guys think of some of these albums? Did you like them as much as me? Did you dislike them? What were some albums that maybe I missed? I'm pretty sure there's quite a few of them that I maybe need to try to check out. And what did you think of those? CW Music Reviews here, signing off.